Hello there everybody, I'm Lynn Gregory and I'd like to welcome you to this 10-minute watercolour landscape tutorial and for this you will need any watercolour paper, a round brush and one with a fine tip, and your watercolours that I'll be using today will be green, blue, orange and yellow. So you can use any colours that you want, but for today I will be using those colours. So let's get started. Okay, so I've already pre-wet a 4" by 2" piece of watercolour paper here. I've started off with a darker blue, which is a Viridian blue, and so I'm just wetting all that at the top there. I've already drawn my little lines of fields, as you can probably see in the picture there, of where I want each field to be. So I started off with a darker green at the top, just underneath the skyline, and then I've chosen a paler green, and more like a yellowy green, for the second field down. And then the next one is a hedgerow that I've decided to do below the second field. So I'm just going to do a thicker line across there. And that will be a hedgerow. And I also decided to do a fence along there as well. But I'll come back to that when that's dry. So my next field down from that is actually yellow ochre, which is a nice rich kind of yellow. It has a nice hue to it, so I thought just to break the different coloured fields up. You can choose any colours that you like. I've opted for the yellows and greens and blues for this one. And the next field down from that again, I'm going a slightly different green there. And then I'm doing another darker green line across again. And then below this I'm using actually a bluish green, so it's like got a bit of a bluish hue to it at the bottom there. Okay, so now I've done those colours, I'm just going to go back and make these colours so that they're not flat. I'm going to give these fields a little bit of depth. So around the outside I'm using a slightly darker green for the yellow section, and then the others I'm actually just taking the moisture out of my brush and then just slightly lifting the central parts, rounded parts, just to make those fields look as though they've got a little bit of light hitting them. So you could just wet your brush a little bit and just go over the parts of the fields that have dried a little bit, and the ones that are wet, you can just dry your brush and then dab in just to soak up some of that extra moisture out of those areas. So it gives the fields a softer look. So I'm going back in now with some more darker blue at the top there to give it a darker depth to the sky. And as I'm coming back down to the middle section, I'm just going to wet my brush now again and just blend that in to the lighter blue just below. I've also decided to add a little bit more turquoise blue to the bottom section. Turquoise blue just has a beautiful colour. It's just one of my favourite colours, turquoise blue. So I'm just blending that in with that darker blue at the top there as well. Okay, so I've also popped in some white stars. I've used a white gel pen to create the stars in the blue sky at the top, as you can see. I've come down to that middle yellow field now. I've decided to put the trees in. So I've used like a dark blue just to give the outlines of the trees. So on the left hand side of each tree, I've decided to give the shadow on the left hand side, and on the right hand side that's where the light would be hitting each tree. Okay, so now I'm actually filling in with a yellowish green because I did put a little bit of blue in there because it was already outlined with blue, but I wanted to warm it up a little bit, so I've gone with a warmer green, like a yellowy green in there. So the trees will blend in better with the whole of my picture. Okay, so now I've actually used like a dark orange, and I'm just putting some dark orange dots in the very top field, which then gives it an appearance to be a poppy field. You can choose whatever you would like in your fields. You can make them all different, put lots of embellishments in there. Across the central section there, I'm just popping some like a dark umber reddish colour as the fence. I'm just putting the lines of the fence, and then I'll come back and do the lines across to make it look a little bit more like a fence. So like I was saying before, you can actually add anything that you like in any of your fields. You can put lines in, dots in, flowers in, make them look like rows of potato fields. Just have a look around you, or have a look at some photographs of different landscapes and see if you can get some ideas. In this one, I've decided to put some flowers in there with some stalks. And then in the bottom field, with that being like a bluish green, I've decided to add some yellow flowers. So once I've added the yellow flowers, I'll add some little stalks to them. Just keep it nice and simple. Okay, so this yellow field in the centre, I've decided to do some of the lines across there. I just watered that down a little bit because that was a little bit, paint was a little bit dry. Okay, so there we go. So I'm just adding some little dots across the top of this field just to section it off from the lined field. And then I've got some sort of medium green. I'm just going around the edge of the field just to give it a little bit of shadow and a little bit more depth. And I'm going to go across the top of the field there with some more little dashes, little tiny dashes across that hedge line there, just to section that section off with the top field. Okay, and there we go. So just adding some little finishing touches there. The little stalks at the bottom filled with the yellow flowers in. And there we go, I'm happy with that. One final note as a reference for you, I've put all the colours that I've used in the description and the comments below this video. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and if you'd like to subscribe and like my video below this video, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.